You know what gold is? It's round and shiny and glitters!
My precious! Oh my gosh, he just went like full Golem. That was amazing.
I am Noxidar!
Hey everyone, how's it going? Noxidar here, and welcome to the next reaction in Delicious in Dungeon episode 4. I just finished recording episode 3 because I've been a little behind on these, but hopefully I'll get both of these episodes up before episode 5 comes out. And man, I gotta tell you that when that theme hit, that sense of discovery and really seeing myself within it, like I said, being able to examine and pick things up, I realized just in that moment how special it was. And in a way, I'm actually so thankful that I can just go right into the next episode and recording like we are now, because I can't wait to get further in this story. That was such a really cool, enlightening moment, and now I feel enlightened. I'm ready to explore in our next reaction, Delicious in Dungeon.
The third floor of the dungeon. After you go through the graveyard and the tallest tower's forest, you'll arrive inside the Golden Castle. Once opulent, the interior is now covered in dust and mold, a shadow of its former glory. Deep within, footsteps echo through the halls. They could belong to another adventurer or to a former resident, now undead.
That there's a skeleton. That's a human. That's a ghoul.
You're weirdly accurate, but how?
The footsteps of people, skeletons, and zombies all sound totally different. We'll go left. There are golems down that other corridor.
But I thought you always go right.
Wait.
Before you say it, we are not eating golems. They're 99% rocks and dirt. They're not alive, they're magical.
If there's golems down there, I need to get some things from them. Follow me.
I knew we were going right. You always go right.
Do you live here?
Nah, I don't sleep here much. Around about every month or so, I go to the village to get spice and other stuff I'm low on. In fact, I ran into you on my way back from a supply run. There's not much to eat here on the third. Most of the monsters you find are either rotting away or just bones walking around. But we got golems. Their bodies are filled with nutrients and they maintain a consistent temperature and humidity.
You use them as a walking veggie patch? That's an affront to farming!
What's the harm? I might not like magic much, but I dang well appreciate golems.
So basically he's created a mobile farm that's really clever. Yeah. I love that he has a straw hat on right now. That's so good.
They keep their water levels perfect so they don't dry out. And anything you plant on them is guaranteed to grow. They do all the hard work for you.
That is so genius. What the heck?
What are you gonna do?
Should we help?
Nope.
Look at him go. Oh, it's kind of like popping a zit. You'll be fine.
All done. You mind helping me harvest all the veggies off them?
Come on, Marcel. They're like actual vegetables, so I don't even see what the issue is. I also have no idea why we're doing this again, but okay, thanks. I have no idea why Marcel would not be for this, because they are normal vegetables of a certain variety that grew in a normal vegetable patch that just so happened to be located upon the back of a magical creature. Maybe that enriches the taste. She really needs to live a little. That's what I'm thinking.
These jars are filled with a different kind of fertilizer. I give the golem a splash of it, and it's good to go. Also, never plant the same thing in the golem you got it from. Rotating crops keeps the soil working right.
Makes sense. Yep, gotta get those nitrates moving around.
We're all done. Now, let's have a feast of all the stuff we worked so hard to get.
This food looks so good.
Guess I'm the expert at peeling things now.
Between the vibrant blues of One Piece from the sky to the ocean to seeing the rich, verdant greens, the vibrant oranges and yellows and reds from cooking within Delicious and Dungeon. I feel like color is such a thing that I always take for granted. And it's one of those things where it's like I think after a while, after watching so many episodes of things, after a while, you almost get desensitized to it. And so again, this is one of the things where I really appreciate the fact that I'm coming back to this show a little bit later, and I've had a bit of a break since episode 2. For you, episode 3 as well, but for me, it's just been a few minutes since I last watched it. One of the things I really try to focus on in my reactions is how much I appreciate what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing, and also especially what I'm feeling. Feeling pretty hungry looking at this stuff. I remember when I first did my internship in Japan, there was a mountain, I believe it was called Mount Yoneyama. Well, technically, that's kind of redundant. It was Yoneyama. And I remember commenting to the host family that I was in that I could look at that every day and just never get tired. And I remember one of the things they said to me is, they said, that's perhaps the saddest thing is the realization that people that have lived here all their lives, they look at it and most of them after a while don't even notice it. One of the purposes of doing these reactions in this appreciative style is so that when I come back and I watch these episodes later and I watch these videos, maybe just to kind of re-experience what it was like to see it for the first time, I really want to draw out those details. And just in this moment, seeing all of these colors across this episode and the last one, I just needed to take a moment and stop and just appreciate. Instead of just passively consuming, actively be appreciating. And I will tell you right now that art will become even more enriching, like good soil getting the right amount of water. And you will have a vegetable growing on your heart. Wait, that sounds like you're a potato. Ooh, speaking of, there are potatoes. Let's continue.
Need to light that fire? I can do it.
Every time you do a thing the easy way, it dulls your skill for doing it.
Oh.
Convenient and simple ain't the same. Doing things your way with magic is the same as buying veggies at the store.
Dang. Yeah, why do that when you can just rip them right out of the back of a magical creature that could squash you in one hit?
It's ready.
Oh, fresh vegetable lunch from the Golem garden. What a name. I love that. Oh, Gotso-sama.
Thank you for the meal.
This is so good! How can something that grows underground be this delicious? I appreciate having a nice clean bathroom way down here.
In a dungeon where there's a lot of foot traffic, there are designated areas for restrooms.
They're always so well maintained. Some of them even have fresh flowers in them. I wonder who goes to all the trouble.
I'm gonna fill up my fertilizer pots with the slop from the toilets.
I can't believe you can do that after eating.
This is the best fertilizer we have down here.
Then the veggies we ate were...
Get a grip. That's how it's done up top, too.
If I lived up there, who'd keep the bathrooms clean and stocked down here? When a zombie's stuck in a toilet, who'd pull it out?
True. I think about that all the time.
There used to be 10 walking around. Now there's only 3. If they're gone, the monsters from the lower floors would find their way up here. That'll force the monsters that live here now to go who knows where. If that happens, this place will change in a bad way. You won't be able to hunt or even walk around. Dungeon's the same as a field. You don't take care of it right, can't enjoy what it brings you.
Man, that's so cool. And I never really had considered this before. How much a dungeon, as particularly a deep dungeon like this, would have its own self-contained ecosystem, in that it's important to maintain that balance. And I know that's something I talked about in the last episode, is I really like how there's this overarching theme of harmony and synergy within the party unit, but now I'm seeing there's a whole harmony and synergy to the entire dungeon as an entity itself, as an ecosystem. And I can't help but just admire that The kind of thinking that goes into something like this is on such a higher order. There really is a genius to it because it takes these fantastical elements and it's like the author has asked, what if? What are creative solutions and creative problems to solve that are very practical? And I think that's something that just I'm constantly being refreshed with as I see this. It's like, how many golems have I seen before? I mean, like, personally, none. But within video games, I've had several encounters. To think of them as a field that you could farm and make a veggie patch from, I never considered. It had just been an enemy. It had been an other. And the idea that it would be something that you would maintain and care for, even though it was, for all intents and purposes, a monster, but that it also fulfilled a role within its place in the dungeon, almost serving as protectors, not from just, that floor of the dungeon, but also for the people that traverse it and come across it. It's really quite interesting. There's just a higher order of thinking to everything that I am constantly impressed by. It's one of the things that makes me look forward to this show so much. Something where I had first been drawn to because of the name recognition of an actress fulfilling a voice acting role. And their first voice acting role, which they are doing a wonderful job. I really like Marcel's character. And I'm really pleasantly surprised to find that within a few episodes later, Emily Rudd has kind of just, for me, melted into the character of Marcel. I'm no longer feeling like I'm making those comparisons as I hear it. I hear character now. And there was character there from the beginning. It's just that me personally, I had to make that separation. And now that we're finally there, I just find so many more things that my brain can focus on and take in as we take in this adventure. So this is just, it's unexpected in the best ways.
What are we doing, carrying all of this?
I use them to barter with.
With any luck, we'll find someone on this floor who wants them.
And what are we trading today?
Vegetables.
Go on, get!
But sir, just listen.
If you want to trade something, bring gold! Understand? You do know what gold is. It's round and shiny and glitters!
My precious! Oh my gosh, he just went like full Golem. That was amazing. Oh my. Oh. Unexpected. Oh.
Orcs!
First ones to die are the ones with the weapons.
Why are orcs here? They're supposed to live on the lower floors.
Who cares about that? We have to...
Marcel!
What you think you're doing hanging around a dump like this, Senshi?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Ooh.
I had a feeling he did business with a rough crowd, but orcs?
I seen the Red Dragon. The damn thing used to keep to itself. Not anymore. He's been showing up near our village, sniffing around and blowing fire all over. We're on a supply run looking for food. Appreciate if you'd share that with us. You've been a good friend and I hate to do this, but hand over everything you got. Right now.
Everything?
I want to ask you for a favor in return, though. Let me and my party spend a night with your tribe. Also, you there!
Me?
That stuff's not rotten, it's fermented! Don't you dare throw it away! Bring it! Yeast is a leavening agent, and I don't know if you noticed, the orcs also grabbed every sack of flour in the kitchen. You know what that means, don't you?
No?
We can make bread!
Wait, so you don't have a plan?
It's a good plan.
Not one plan!
Pipe down, you savages!
Are you playing with mud? Huh?
Yeah, kind of. But it'll be delicious.
Time for your history lesson, kiddo.
Oh, he's cute.
In the old days, we lived up top. Not here in the underground, like the bugs. Humans and elves like those ones murdered most of our kin and stole the land we had up there.
I seem to remember orcs did a whole lot of murdering too.
What's that?
Now's a good time to add the olive oil.
Good choice.
Anyway, they chased us down to the underground, and our tribe found a new home. For a long time, we lived in peace.
To need, you hold the edge, then smack it down.
They poured oil in our caves and set fire to it.
That's because your people wouldn't stop raiding the villages of every other race in the land.
Come on, Marcel, stop it. We're their guests.
Shut your hole, you damn half-fight!
Get your fingers in there and work that dough!
Whoa.
Us orcs were the first to come down this deep!
If that's where you want to go with it, then zombies were here first.
Once you get it stretching easy, it's time for the first proofing.
I like how the aggression was used within the food prep itself. That's it's like everybody's tension got raised. And just like that, so will the bread. And it'll be all the more delicious for it. It just goes back to just how creative these solutions are. You would assume there would just be open conflict, but because we're kind of gravitating everything around food and food prep, that it just conveniently works its way into the narrative like that. And again, it defies like my own understanding, but at the same time, I'm so willing to embrace it because it's just so creative and so inventive. I love it.
You must be here to get to the bottom of this dungeon. When you get your kingdom, what you gonna do then?
I know all about that rumor too, but I never thought about it that much.
All you care about is gold and power. The thought someone like that could rule this place makes my hair stand up all prickly like. I'm gonna throw you in the fire myself!
See, the only thing you know how to do is violence.
Let it proof some more. Then, once it finishes rising, set it down over some low heat. We got ourselves some bread.
Look at that pawn. That's so good.
Let's have a taste.
Hold it. That bread belongs to my tribe. You said you wanted to make bread and we let you make it. We decide what to do with it.
Daddy, we all made it together. Why can't we all eat it together too?
It's not a proper meal if you only have bread. Main dish, side dish, and veggie. Your daddy there? He just wanted to wait until all the other dishes were ready.
She's right. Your pop said we could stay with your family if we let him have our vegetables. And your daddy's an orc who always keeps his word.
There, it's ready.
Wow, that looks good. That looks really good.
My sister was eaten by a red dragon, and we're just trying to find it. But if you can tell us where you saw it, we can go find it and kill it. We won't go near your village or tell anyone about it.
Hey, get me that map.
On it.
From now on, I promise I'll think hard about what to do if I end up ruling the castle.
To think a guy caught by orcs and forced to make bread could ever be a king of anything. Well, good luck to you.
Opinions may differ, but we can all agree we get hungry. Delicious dungeon food brings folks together. Delicious in dungeon.
Wow. What a powerful sentiment. If only all conflicts and differences could be settled over the dinner table. But I love that there exists a way, again, going back to how we examine things through the lens of fantasy and why I love it so much, is that overcomplicated political differences and differences in culture and values and things, we get a chance to boil everything down to the essence of humanity and to be able to put it on a table and examine it. In this case, it happened to be over bread and over the cultural differences of the topsiders and the ones that now dwell beneath, exiled from their homes. And there's just something really beautiful about how that all came together. And at the same time, it's kind of sad to reflect on where a lot of society is at today. There are still moments of humanity and of coming together, but at the same time, I do feel like there is that element that's lost, where there's no longer an invitation, a seat at the table, where we're quicker to create distance than to create delicacies. And yeah, I definitely think this episode has given me a lot to think about. I hope you really enjoyed this. I know I did. And I'll see you in the next one. This is Noxidar. Out. We'll see ya.